Hello there. For this video, I'd like to demonstrate how to create Samus's Gunship in the Kingdom Hearts 3 Gummi Ship editor. So I spent a long time working on this, and I don't think I can recreate it from scratch, but what I've done here is I've changed everything back to its base color and pushed it all the way to the top so that I can basically go into the editor, which not this, but the oh wait, hold on. I can go into the edit mode and just slide the blocks down a bit at a time, just to show you how I did it, like layer by layer, sort of. So hopefully this will. I'll try not to go too fast on it. So what I started with when creating this was the base, these bottom, like, sort of like spherical landing type things. So you'll basically want to center it with the first one and use this shape right here you see to create all of the bottom parts. Alright, so that's what I started with literally down there. It's just these three landing ball things. I can't get a really good angle on it from the top, but basically they are... Let me just count. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you can't really see it because the gunship's covering it, but if you look at the display on the top left up there, so that's the edge of that sphere, and it is 2 blocks down and 1 block over from the edge, the top right corner of the other sphere. What am I doing? I could just do this. This makes it easier. Yeah, so I have that one centered, and it's about 2 blocks. Yeah, it's 2 spaces. There's 2 spaces between it and the front, and it's centered. That's the center one. And then the other ones, you want to go out and then down. Like, there's 1 space between them and these. Alright, so that's the easy part right there. The next thing I started doing, I really can't remember. I think I just started placing some blocks down and trying to... So we'll start with the base of the ship, basically. And we'll try to get just the square blocks for right now. So that's the shape you get right there. So this is the next layer from above the 3 spherical landing gears. These are all just regular square blocks. So we're gonna show them. Okay. These are all just the regular cubes. And these 2 right here line up exactly with the front sphere. The front half sphere. Yeah. They'll line up exactly with the front half sphere. So you got these 2 here, 2 there, and some of these on the inside you really don't need if you want to leave the inside hollow to have more, to put more parts in, or more like weapons. The thing is, these, oh, I can only go redo so far. Okay, that's good to know. I really should have whoops. I really should have played around with this more before starting this video, but I don't have a whole lot of time today. So let's copy, no. Okay, so I can't go do that layer by layer like I thought I could. That's okay. This should be a lot easier from here on out. So for the very front of the ship, you have these 2 half, or I guess quarter triangles, pyramid shapes. So you want a single block sort of pyramid shape. This can become like a nose cone if you put line 4 of them up together. I think this is how the regular. I think this is actually how the regular Gummi Ship. With 4 of these, you get the regular Gummi Ship's like nozzle or front nose cone. You want to line them straight up so that one of the flat edges, it's in the corner. If you were looking at it from the top, inside this little cube that it's in, it goes up in the top left corner. So it's facing up and in the top left corner, and you'll just place it there. I'm just going to assume that you have at least some familiarity with these Gummi Ship, like the different blocks that you can use for the Gummi Ship editor, because I don't have a whole lot of. I can't really describe every single one of them. You should be able to get a good look just by looking at it at what we got. So anyway, that's the front area of the gunship. Next, we'll take these blocks. These not quite. It's like a cube that got cut off. So it's like a slight slant that leads into another piece. I wish I could see the names of these when I'm doing this, or show you where they are in the editor, but those will go right there. A lot of my explanation is just going to be that goes there and this goes there, so bear with me. You got this tiny little triangle piece next to that one down here. Right? And then that same piece, this is the same piece for the front, only it's turned on the side. So as you can see, this piece is the same as this piece. They're just rotated differently. And that helps give it a sort of a fake curve shape to the bottom. Because Samus' ship is very round, so... Alright. And then for the very outside, these are the most like outward protruding parts of the ship. You've got one of these sort of. This is one of the conical, like round-shaped edges. This is like, I think this is another piece that would help form like a nose cone if you used 4 of them in a row or all around. But there's 2 of those, one here and one here, flipped opposite directions. That piece only takes up about half the space of a normal cube, or a little bit more. It's kind of like this shape, only with a rounded edge to it, but not. Oops. Also, it's not completely. So it's got a little bit. It's got a whole curve to it. It's so hard to describe all this stuff. Anyway, next we've got this piece, which that's just. Oh, that one's got a special shape to it too. So don't just use the. Here, I'll pull another piece. It looks a lot like this piece right here. Looks a lot like that piece, but it's shorter, if that makes sense. And that goes on the side there. Also, so let me just finish getting those in real quick. These. And then we've got another weird shape that leads into this triangle right here is the same as the one we used on the front. And then this is just one that's a little bit bigger that connects into it. And then what you see these up here that are floating, these are wing pieces that I placed underneath that layer. So these wing pieces actually go on the same layer as this, the little round landing gear. Okay, so a quick note on these wing pieces. Wing pieces are very different when you place them because of how this block system works. You'll basically, for these bottom ones, you'll want to press X when you have it right there. And then after you press X, it's still blinking. You have a choice to either put it up, down, or in the middle. And you want to put them up. So you want it to be in this bottom block space, and you want to push up and then apply it. gonna do the same for this side. So that's that layer completed, essentially. Now that I'm looking at this also, these 2 blocks are completely unnecessary. So you can delete those if you want to. They just take up extra block space, because the next thing that I'm going to add are the Deco Parts, which you can only cycle through them with the R3 click in this editor here. You'll find the cockpit. You'll exit out of the normal block selection, and you'll find your cockpit pieces, which are under like a special classification. But anyway, I use this specific cockpit here. You're probably gonna want to use this one specifically because of its shape. It helps with the look of the front of the ship, where we have the basically what would be the cockpit that Samus sits behind with the green sort of slanted visor piece. It helps create the illusion of that angled piece, basically. So what we do is we have it facing down completely like that, and then pull it down to here. So that piece is going to be where those 2 blocks I just removed are. And once it's all together, it's still going to look the same. So have that one in like that, the cockpit protruding like one above this layer right here. Alright, and then for the engines, oops, I use the large engines. Just stick them right there. So the engines sit side by side exactly in this little space where you would think that they would sit. They're at the same exact level as the cockpit. Alright. So now that that's down. Alright. Let's start with the front here again. You see this is a familiar shape here. That was used on the outside to give it that right here on the wings down here. So that's the exact same piece there. This is the exact same piece that we used on the front, only at a different angle. And this piece helps give the illusion of the little cockpit area. This is a bit of an odd piece here. It's one of those weird curved slanted pieces. It gets big on one corner, and then it angles down to get smaller, and it angles down to get even smaller. Those go on these 2 sides here, behind this piece, on this next layer here. Let's get... There's some more just regular square blocks in here. That's not a square block. I lied. That's a very slight slanted, so you see how it's got that tiny little slant. That one goes there. Actually, that's what all 3 of these are. Except, no, okay, not all 3, just these 2. Ugh. Shows how much I know about my own gummy ship. Alright. Okay, actually, yeah, these pieces on the outside go over the engines. Alright, now the next 2 pieces are another weird, unique shape. Not that one. That one. So these are both meant to connect to these sort of quarter-circle pieces. And I have them right there and there at the end of this engine connection. Sort of connect these 2 curved engine pieces to the middle, just to give it like a more uniform, smoothed out look. Next we'll do these outside segments. Pretty straightforward. This is just another one of those slanted half circle. Not really a half circle. It's a slanted piece just like this one down here. And these 2 are exactly the same. Basically, you take the exact same form that I did for these 3, goes up here. Parts. You'll place it and then go down to place the roof of this little spot right here. Oops. And then we have these right here. So rotate them to where you want them to be. Place them down. Just like that. Okay, so now that we have the basic gunship completed, we will go ahead and change the colors. I'll show how I have the colors for this. So I used this orange right here for the main body, and since most of the blocks are orange, we're going to hit square to apply to all blocks, so the whole thing is orange now, except for the Deco gummies. So when you're coloring it, you've got to hit R3 to switch to the Deco gummies, which are the functional pieces, essentially. Go ahead and apply that to both of those, because, yeah. Alright. The next color for the visor cockpit area, I believe I used this green. I used this green. I'm pretty sure it was this green right here. Then I used this gray color here for the bottom of the ship. And then I also believe there's a few more pieces I made gray. I made these outside little wings gray. Those tiny little wings that go out behind these big wings. Yeah, and then those two. Okay. And now that I think of it, the engines are actually gray as well. Not orange. Just like that. Okay, there we go. That looks right. Alright, that's pretty much it. Now we add the weapons. And for the weapons, you can add whatever the heck you want, honestly. Whatever weapons you want, you can fit them in there. I don't have a huge selection of weapons, but I like to... I like this one. And like you can get creative with how you hide them, but you got to be careful not to place it in the same spot as another Deco gummy piece. As in you can't place it in the same spot that the engines are in or the cockpit. So I can place it here and sort of try to hide it inside of that, or try to place it in here like that. Yeah, that's a good spot to hide it. Oh yeah, I remember what else I had. I also had extra movement gummies in here. So, for two reasons. One, it increases the speed of this ship. These little... I gotta remember where I put that one. I also had a radar. I'm gonna make this a lot easier myself and place it. You can do this too. You can just place the weapons or anything you want to place inside the ship up here, and then go to edit, and then switch to the Deco gummies, and you can see through the ship where everything is placed. So I can place this in here, not there. That's like right in the engine. Right here, and place a little radar there. So there you see, I got a weapon here, a little radar here. And it does not matter that the weapons are inside and not, or like that they're concealed. It does not matter at all. They will still function just fine. I just realized another thing I can add too. And you can add whatever the heck you want to this as well after you've followed this tutorial. Just noticing small improvements that can be made. Maybe not that one, that one. Just to round out everything. Every possible space on this ship. There we go. That looks better. Oh wait, nope, this, yeah, that looks fine. That's it. I'll give you one last little every angle shot that I can get, basically, of the ship, the completed ship. I'm sure this design can be improved upon, but when I created it, I didn't want to take forever to create my Gummi Ship because I wanted to play the game. And I think this services like its purpose. It looks like Samus's Gunship, and I like it. It's cool. It looks ugly from the bottom, but you don't really ever view it from the bottom. I'm rotating too fast, I'm sorry. Okay, well anyway, that concludes my sort of tutorial on how to create Samus's Gunship in Kingdom Hearts 3 Gummi Ship. Make sure you save it once you finish.